Hello, welcome back to the next session of basic surveying module number 2. So, in this session we will start traversing. So, I had explained you what is traversing earlier in the introductory class, but now let us understand what is traversing in detail. Okay. So, in this session we are going to start traversing. What do you mean by traversing? Traversing is that type of survey in which number of connected survey lines form the framework, and the directions and lengths of the survey lines are measured with the help of instruments. When the lines form a circuit which ends at the starting point, then it is called as a closed traverse. I had explained it earlier, that is, if this is A, this is B, C, D and E, say this is F, and come back to A. So, when the number of survey lines form a closed circuit, that is the end point meets at the start point, then it is called as a closed traverse. Fine. So, what do you mean by open traverse now? If the circuit ends elsewhere, then it is said to be an open traverse. If the circuit ends elsewhere, A, B, C, D, E. Here the end point is not meeting at the starting point. So, this is called as an open traverse. Okay, is that clear? A closed traverse is employed for locating the boundaries of lakes and woods, etc. And for the surveys of large areas, the open traverse is suitable for surveying a long, narrow strip of land as required for a road or a canal or a coastline. Okay, so this is the difference between a closed traverse and an open traverse. Okay, now in this particular module, what we are going to study is, in this particular case, say let us take this closed traverse as an example. Here in a closed traverse, if I start with point A, I should end at A. Okay, but due to some instrumental errors or some other errors, we do not arrive at A exactly, we may arrive somewhere nearer to A. Okay, so now what we get, we will be having some error. Okay, so that error should be identified, determined, and then it should be adjusted so that it is exactly meeting at point A. Okay, so that we are going to study in this particular module. Next, methods of traversing. Methods of traversing. So, how many methods are there in traversing? That is, there are different methods of traversing that can be written as, first one, chain traversing. Second one is chain and compass traversing. It is also called as loose needle method. Third one is transit tape traversing. In this we have by fast needle method, second one is by measuring the angles, between the survey lines. And the last one is plane table traversing. So you have 4 methods of traversing, that is chain traversing, chain and compass traversing, which is also called as loose needle method, transit tape traversing. In this you are having 2 subdivisions, that is first one is by fast needle method and second one is by measuring the angles between the survey lines. The fourth one is plane table traversing. What is chain traversing? In the last module you had studied about how to measure the length using a chain or a tape, right? So in chain traversing, the linear as well as the angular measurements are done with the help of chain only, and this method is very crude method and cannot be relied upon. Why? Because in chain traversing you cannot measure the angles or directions, right? Next, let us move on to chain and compass traversing, which is also called as loose needle method. In this method, the linear measurements are done with the help of a chain and the directions are measured with the help of a compass. Okay. So, with the help of a compass, we are going to measure the bearings. Okay. So, what we are doing here is both fore bearings and back bearings of the lines are measured from a station. Both fore bearings and back bearings of the lines are measured. The results obtained by this method is not so accurate and precise. The next method, which is transit tape traversing, in this first case is by fast needle method. In fast needle method, the linear measurements are made with the help of a chain or a tape and the bearings are measured with the help of a theodolite. Bearings are measured with the help of a theodolite, where the telescope is inverted for alternate backward and forward readings. So, if this is the telescope, this is inverted for the alternate forward and backward bearings. And also it should be noted that if the line of collimation or the line of sight is not properly adjusted, the included angles will be having some error. The included angles will be having some error, and those errors have to be rectified at the end. Okay. By measuring the angles between the survey lines, in this method, the angular measurements, that is by making use of a theodolite to measure the angles, the measurement of deflection angles and included angles are directly done with the help of a theodolite. This is the most accurate method of traversing. Next is plane table traversing. What is plane table traversing? Plane table is nothing but table used to plot the objects which are on the earth's surface in a sheet of paper. So, plane table is a graphical method. It is a graphical method of surveying in which the field observations as well as the plotting are done simultaneously. I hope you have understood methods of traversing, that is chain traversing, chain and compass, transit tape traversing and plane table traversing. The next topic is traverse computations. How do you compute the traverse? So, you are going to express the traverse in terms of coordinates, okay, that too in particular rectangular coordinates. So, how it is plotted, how it is computed? Traverse computations. Rectangular coordinates. Let this be A and B and this be angle theta. This is again north, east, south and west. Okay. So, I will mark the quadrants as well. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. Here the sign conventions, that is in the first quadrant it is plus and plus, in the second quadrant it is minus and plus, in third quadrant it is minus and minus, fourth quadrant it is plus and minus. Okay. So, if the same survey line is plotted in the second quadrant, in third quadrant, in fourth quadrant, how to express the traverse? Okay, let us understand. Let me join this point in both horizontal and vertical direction for a given line AB, okay, and let the length of the survey line be L. This L be the length of the survey line, okay. Now, how do you express traverse? It is expressed in terms of latitudes and departures. Latitudes L and departures D. Okay. The latitude of the survey line may be defined as its coordinate length, which is measured parallel to the reference meridian or true meridian. Coordinate length measured parallel to the assumed meridian direction, that is, it may be true meridian or it may be any reference meridian. So, if the length is measured parallel to the reference meridian, then we call it as latitude. It is coordinate length. So, let me write this as capital L. Okay. Next, what do you mean by departure? The departure of a survey line may be defined as its coordinate length measured perpendicular to the reference meridian, or right angles to the reference meridian. So, this can be taken as D. Okay. So, what is latitude and departure from this now? You can say that this latitude is nothing but latitude of a survey line is defined as the coordinate length measured parallel to the assumed direction, that is, it may be a true meridian or any reference meridian or direction. Whereas, what is departure of a survey line? The departure of a survey line is defined as the coordinate length measured at right angles to the assumed meridian or assumed direction. So, from the graph, what is L? See, if you take this as theta, if they take this as angle theta and this is L, we can calculate or we can find L and D by using some trigonometric functions. So, this is theta, I can say this is adjacent side and this is the opposite side, right. So, using trigonometric functions, now I have adjacent side to be determined, that is L has to be determined. So, I can use cos function, that is cos theta is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse, that is equal to L divided by small l, where small l is the length of the survey line and capital L is the latitude of that particular survey line. So, you can write L is equal to multiply L into cos theta, this is nothing but L is equal to L into cos theta. Similarly, you can find departure D. To find this departure D, this is nothing but the opposite side of this angle. If you want the opposite side, which trigonometry function can you use? That is, use sine function. Sine theta is equal to opposite by hypotenuse. So, this is opposite, theta is opposite, that is D is equal to opposite, that is D is opposite divided by L. So, if I write D, cross multiply here, L into sine theta. So, I can write L cos theta D is equal to L sine theta, right, by taking some trigonometric functions. Similarly, if the same line is plotted in the second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant and the same angle theta, what is the latitude and departure obtained can be easily calculated. So, based on the sign convention, you can easily write the latitude and departure for all the 4 quadrants. Okay. Now, how do we express this latitude? Let us understand that if the latitude is upwards, or northwards, it is termed as northing. it is termed as northing. Latitude is upwards or northwards, it is termed as northing. So the sign convention used is positive. If the latitude is towards south or downwards or downwards we can say it as southing. We can say it as southing, and the sign convention being negative or minus. Can take the sign convention minus. Similarly, for departure, if the departure is towards right or towards east, if the departure is towards east, then we can term that as easting, and the sign convention being, if it is towards east, it is termed as easting, and the sign convention being positive. And if the departure is towards west, it is termed as westing. If the departure is towards west, it is termed as westing, and the sign convention can be taken as negative. If it is towards west, we can say it as westing, and the sign convention will be minus. So this is how you express. If the latitude is towards north, it is termed as northing. If the latitude is towards south, it is termed as southing. If the departure is towards east, it is termed as easting, and if the departure is towards west, it is termed as westing. And these are the sign conventions to be adopted. And also you can see the sign conventions written in the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. Now for the same line AB with the same angle theta, if it is plotted in second, third and fourth quadrant, what will be the sign conventions of latitude and departure? Okay, let me write that in a tabular form. So latitude and departure of a survey line AB of length L, small l, and reduced bearing theta are given by L is equal to plus L cos theta and D is equal to plus L sin theta, that was written earlier, that is by using some trigonometric functions. Okay. Now if I write the latitude and departure in second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant, let me erase this. So the first column will be WCB and the second column will be the reduced bearing and quadrant next we will be having sine of latitude and departure. So the WCB in the first quadrant is 0 to 90 degrees and reduced bearing, for right it is north theta east, comma first quadrant, So what is the sign convention? It is positive, departure is again positive. So this is for the first quadrant. Next, angle varies from 90 degrees to 180 degrees, and the reduced bearing will be south theta east, and this will be in the second quadrant. In second quadrant, the sign convention for latitude and departure are minus and positive respectively. So for L it is minus, latitude it is minus, for departure it is plus. You can observe the figure. The latitude is towards south, so it is negative side, which I have already explained. Next, third quadrant ranges from 180 degrees to 270 degrees. If I write the same thing in RB, that is south theta west, quadrant 3. In third quadrant, if you observe, both the signs are minus, that is the latitude is towards south and the departure is towards west. So sign convention to be written here is minus. Okay, and at last, fourth quadrant, 270 degrees to 360 degrees, 270 to 360 degrees, it will be north theta west, fourth quadrant. Here the latitude is towards north, positive, and the departure is towards west, it is negative. So it is plus and minus. So these are your latitude and departure in 4 quadrants respectively. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now let me move on to the next topic, that is checks in closed traverse. So how do I apply check in closed traverse? So as I told you earlier, if the starting point of a circuit does not meet at the end point exactly, then we will be having some error. That error has to be rectified. So here the errors involved in traversing are of two kinds, that is linear and angular measurements. Linear and angular measurements. First one is traverse by included angles, that is, in this case we have to satisfy the check for interior included angles, that is 2n minus 4 into 90, where n is the number of sides. If this check is satisfied, then we can correct the interior included angle. So the sum of all the included angles should be equal to 2n minus 4 into 90, that is right angles. Then we can say interior included angles are corrected. Similarly, the check 2n plus 4 into 90 should be applied for exterior included angle. That is, the sum of all the exterior included angles should be equal to 2n plus 4 into 90. So the first one is traverse by included angles, that is the sum of the measured interior angles should be equal to 2n minus 4 into 90 degrees for interior included angles. The sum of the measured exterior included angles should be equal to 2n plus 4 into 90 for exterior included angles. Okay. Next, the second one is traverse by deflection angle. traverse by deflection angles. The algebraic sum of the deflection angles should be equal to 360 degrees. Next is traverse by direct observations of bearings. Direct observation of bearings. Here the forebearing of the last line should be equal to back bearing plus or minus 180 degree at the initial station. So if that condition is satisfied, that we can say it is a check. So these are the checks that is done in closed traverse. Okay. Next. Next we shall understand how to plot traverse survey. Plotting of traverse survey. How do we plot the traverse? So as I said earlier, the latitude and departure were plotted in a rectangular coordinates, the form of a rectangle, right? Here there are two principal methods to plot the traverse survey. The first one is angle and distance method. Angle and distance method. The second one is coordinate method. Here I will be dealing with coordinate method only. So in this method, coordinate method, survey stations are plotted by calculating their coordinates. Okay. So what is the biggest advantage of this method is, in this method of plotting, is that the closing error is, that is start from A and end nearer to A. So this is nothing but the closing error. Okay. It should have been exactly ended at A. Now it has ended at a new position A dash. The biggest advantage in this method of plotting is that the closing error can be eliminated by balancing the error prior to plotting. So before plotting the traverse, we can balance the error and then plot the traverse. So that is our biggest advantage in coordinate method. Next, let us understand what is closing error. Closing error. E. What is closing error? If a closed traverse is plotted according to the field measurements, the end point of the traverse will not coincide the starting point exactly with the starting point. Okay. So owing to errors in the field measurements of angles and distances, such error is known as closing error. That is, if a closed traverse is plotted according to the field measurements, the end point of the traverse will not coincide exactly with the starting point, owing to some errors in the field measurements of angles and distances. Such error is known as the closing error. So this point A will be the starting point of the traverse, B, C, D, E, and now at last this is not meeting exactly at the starting point, it is ending somewhere else. So why this is not meeting exactly at A? Because owing to some errors. Okay. So in a closed traverse, the algebraic sum of the latitudes and the departures should be equal to 0. In a closed traverse, the algebraic sum of latitudes should be equal to 0 and the algebraic sum of the departures should be equal to 0. The error of closure can be calculated by finding sigma L and sigma D, that is summation of all the latitudes and summation of all the departure, and both of these being the component of the error E parallel to and perpendicular to the meridian. That is, so if this is the error, so parallel to and perpendicular to the meridian. This is parallel to the reference direction, that is, let me write this as A dash here. This will be your sigma L and this will be your sigma D. Sigma D. This be the angle delta. This part is nothing but the closing error. So, if you plot a traverse starting from A and you end up at some point A dash, okay, then you should calculate the summation of all the latitudes and the departure, and if the sum of all the latitudes is equal to 0 and sum of all the departures is equal to 0, then we can say that there is no error. And we should also calculate the summation of all the latitude and departure, and this will be the components of the error E parallel to and perpendicular to the meridian or the reference meridian. Okay. So now how can you calculate this closing error? Closing error E is equal to root of sigma L square plus sigma D square. From the figure it is nothing but E is equal to A dash is equal to root of sigma L whole square plus sigma D square. And what about the direction? The direction of closing error can be calculated. Direction of closing error, that is tan delta is equal to sigma D divided by sigma L. Tan of delta is equal to sigma D divided by sigma L will give you the direction of the closing error. Now let us move on to the next topic. Traverse adjustments. How should we adjust the traverse? So traverse adjustment can be done in two ways, that is adjustment of angular error Second one is adjustment of bearing. Adjustment of angular error and adjustment of bearing. How can you adjust the angular errors? That is, before calculating the departure and latitudes, the traverse angle should be adjusted to satisfy geometrical conditions. That is, in a closed traverse, the sum of all the interior angles should be equal to 2n minus 4 into 90 degrees. And if the angles are measured with the same degree of precision, the error in some of the angles may be distributed equally to each angle of the traverse. So, the second one is adjustment of bearing. How do you adjust the bearing? In a closed traverse in which the bearings are measured or the bearings are observed, the closing error in the bearing may be determined by comparing the two bearings of the last line as observed at the first and the last stations of traverse. Let small e be the closing error in bearing of last line of a closed traverse having n sides. So, we get correction for first line, that is equal to E by n. For the second line, be 2E by n. Third line, 3E by n, so on, that is NE by n, that is equal to E, error E. Okay, balancing the traverse. This is very important topic in this particular unit. How do you balance the traverse? The term balancing is generally applied to the operations of applying corrections to latitudes and departures, so that sigma L is equal to 0 and sigma D is equal to 0. This applies only when the survey forms a closed polygon. So, there are some common methods of balancing the traverse, that is, first one is Bowditch rule. Second one is transit rule. Third one is graphical method. And at last, the fourth one, axis method. So here we will be dealing only with Bowditch and transit rule. The term balancing is generally applied to the operations of applying corrections to the latitudes and departures, so that the summation L is equal to 0 and summation D is equal to 0, and this applies only when the survey forms a closed circuit or closed polygon. Okay, so there are some methods to balance the traverse, that is there are 4 methods, out of which we are going to discuss only 2 methods. So in the coming session I will be dealing with Bowditch rule and transit rule, and then numerical problems related to it. Thank you.